After World War II ended in 1945, one of the least discussed but most fascinating chapters of history began, not on the battlefield, but on abandoned runways, silent hangars, and secret storage sites scattered across a defeated Germany, where thousands of Luftwaffe aircraft waited for a future no one had prepared for. And this long-forgotten journey is the story of what truly happened to those planes in the final weeks of the war. As German forces collapsed, entire airfields were deserted so quickly that intact fighters, bombers, prototypes, even half-finished experimental jets were simply left where they stood, and when Allied troops moved in, they discovered everything from the famous Messerschmitt Bf 109 and FW 190 to the revolutionary jet-powered Me-262 and Arado A-234, plus rare designs like the rocket-powered Me-163 and the Horten Ho 229 flying wing. The Allies instantly realized these aircraft were invaluable, not just as war trophies but as keys to future aviation technology, triggering massive organized efforts to gather and study them, beginning with the United States launching Operation LUSTY, a mission that sent intelligence teams across Germany to locate advanced aircraft, secure engineering documents, and capture scientists, ultimately shipping dozens of jets and prototypes to America where they were analyzed in detail, tested in wind tunnels, and flown by U.S. pilots, helping shape early Cold War aviation and influencing future jets like the F-86. Sabre and even design philosophies seen in American bombers. The Soviet Union carried out its own large-scale collection effort, seizing engines, parts, and aerodynamics research from factories in occupied territory, transporting German engineers eastward, and using captured Jumo and BMW jet engines as inspiration for designs that powered early MiG fighters, showing how wartime German research quietly flowed into the technology race between superpowers. Meanwhile, Britain examined a wide range of Luftwaffe aircraft to improve its own jet development, especially studying the FW-190's handling and the Me-262's swept-wing advantages, while France, which had suffered terribly during the war, also tested numerous captured German planes to rebuild its air force. But not every aircraft was preserved, far from it, because once the Allies had taken what they needed for scientific or military purposes, the vast majority of Luftwaffe planes were judged unnecessary or unsafe, leading to enormous scrapping operations in which entire airfields full of aircraft were lined up and dismantled for their metal, crushed by machinery, burned, or cut apart so that their aluminum and steel could be reused in the reconstruction of post-war Europe. In some cases, hundreds of aircraft were destroyed in a single week simply because storing them was impossible and maintaining them was impractical in a shattered nation struggling to recover from 6 years of conflict. Yet the story doesn't end with scrapping, because a small number of Luftwaffe planes survived as training tools, museum pieces, engineering references, or military study units across the world, some taken to the United States, others to Britain, Canada, Australia, and the Soviet Union, with a handful eventually becoming iconic centerpieces in aviation museums. Many of the Luftwaffe's most advanced projects, including late-war jet prototypes, night fighters, rocket planes, and experimental designs, were carefully examined to understand how a country under immense pressure had produced such groundbreaking innovations, and this research played a major role in shaping the early jet age. At the same time, countless planes simply vanished from records, buried under collapsed hangars, abandoned in woods, sunk in lakes, covered by soil, or forgotten in remote areas. And decades later, astonishing discoveries began happening across Europe when farmers, construction crews, and historians uncovered remarkably preserved Luftwaffe aircraft still resting exactly where they had been left at the end of the war, turning each recovery into a historical puzzle revealing new details about the pilots and missions connected to those machines. And while the planes' physical journeys were dramatic, the human side was equally striking, because many Luftwaffe pilots, engineers, and mechanics returned to civilian life, taking up ordinary jobs after years in the air, while a few joined Germany's post-war aviation industry when it slowly re-emerged during the Cold War, bringing with them skills developed in the skies over Europe. Ultimately, the fate of the Luftwaffe's aircraft after World War II became a story about transformation, the transformation of cutting-edge war machines into scientific stepping stones, museum artifacts, scrap metal that helped rebuild nations, and long-buried relics rediscovered decades later. And their survival, destruction, and rediscovery together reveal how the end of a war is never truly the end of the story, because the technology, ideas, and machines left behind continue to shape the world long after the guns fall silent.